Hey guys, Pam here with CraftHow, and I've got another DIY on demand for you today. We're going to be talking about adding weeding lines and how they will save your sanity. So what are weeding lines? Well, weeding lines are just sections of your file that you can use to block it off from the rest of your file when you're cutting, so that if you were to pull up a piece of vinyl, it doesn't take the rest of your project with it. The easiest way to do this is to just draw a box around different sections that you want to weed out individually. If you want to get more detailed, you can go in and put lines in between individual letters or different components of your piece. Whatever it is that you want to do, however many lines that you feel will make it easier for you to weed your project without destroying your project. So in this case, I just changed my line color to blue so you guys can see what I'm talking about. With an individual piece of text, it's usually not too much trouble. Where this is really useful is when you're doing larger chunks of text. So here's a few lines, and what I do is I make a straight line by holding Shift and using my line tool, and then I like to place it where the center of the E is on most of my lettering. I know that it makes it so that I don't have to pull out as many centers later on, and I'll point that out in just a second. So I'm just holding the Alt key on my PC here and dragging a copy of the line in between each of my lines of text right to the center of those E's there. And I am going to grab another copy and put one in between each line of text so that I have these smaller sections here in between that I would be weeding out in strips like that. So once you get all of your lines in place the way that you want them, I like to make sure that everything's centered. It's just a personal preference. I make it a compound path, and then you're going to click on your image or your text, whatever it is that you want, and you're going to bring it to the front. The wording needs to be in front of the lines. Now I'm going to select the words and make a copy of them. So click on my words, click copy, and then I'm going to highlight my lines and my wording, object, modify, subtract, and let that process. And now we have a ton of little lines everywhere, and without moving anything, I'm going to right click, paste in front. So this is going to bring my wording to the front. It's going to make sure that none of my lines are cutting into my words because we've subtracted those from the lines. You can take it a step further by going in the centers of your O's and the D's and things and pulling out all those extra little individual lines just so that you can weed it out as one piece instead of two. And that will make it so much easier to do that whole grouping. So another time that this comes in really helpful is when you're doing a lot of small objects, and rather than trying to peel the vinyl away from each of these and pulling up some of my circles, what I like to do is just run a line down the center of each of my stacks of pieces, just like that. And then, so this is already, these should already be grouped. It just makes it easier to select everything. So right now I'm selecting just the circles, not the lines. And then I'm going to group those together. And now just my lines, make compound path, go back to my circles, make sure that they're in the front, and then go to my group of circles, copy, select both, object, modify, subtract, and then without touching anything else, paste in front. So now I can go in here and I can pull out just this strip of vinyl, and it's going to pull out everything that you see in yellow except for the circles. So those will stay in place, and I just end up with a really cool zigzag piece of vinyl that's scrap, and just pull it away. So super easy. It can weed a whole sheet of circles in like 25 seconds. It's awesome. So I hope that helps you guys. If you have any questions, as always, you can reach me on Facebook, facebook.com/CraftHow. I'm in about a half a dozen silhouette groups, and I'm always happy to answer your questions. Have a great day.